Hi guys, today I'm going to review this video by Paul Saladino. This is what happens when you stop eating carbs. Before I jump on the gun, I first need to clarify that of course, I'm on a carnivore diet. I eat only raw ground beef right now and drink water, and that's basically it. And I feel amazing. My mood is incredible, and of course I'm going to be critical about anything that tries to prove that you cannot feel incredible on carbs. You have to understand that natural, as in a wilderness, you'd only consume carbs as a baby. You would consume the carbs from the lactose in milk and fruit in this after summer, as in autumn, honey as well, possibly. Thus, you would consume very little carbohydrates just from liver if we're talking about the vast majority of the year, the vast majority of the years in your life, 9 months out of the year, you would consume only keto friendly carbs present in liver and some in other organs. And I also like to say that I very much appreciate Paul's work. He makes us realize that you shouldn't touch receipts. Who would have thunk it? That you shouldn't use this pan. You should use stainless steel. You should be careful about this and that. So he's a very well-rounded individual, independently of what diet you do, because you wear clothes and some clothes have forever chemicals, for example. So thank you for that.
There is evidence in humans that ketogenic diets, that is limitation of carbohydrates, leads to increased stress hormones, that is cortisol, epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, and glucagon. Now, the cortisol...
Then again, is it the fries and the seed oils and the glyphosate that are accompanying my burger patty and even the bread that is also filled with glyphosate? Or is it the actual meat? Which one is not doing me good? In these trials, this research, whatever, they see meat is not good for you. Is it the meat or is it the crap surrounding the meat? So is it fasting, as in starving yourself, which I completely understand it will increase your adrenaline because it is made to. I mean, you should be adrenalized so that you can go hunting more, I guess. You see where I'm going perfectly well.
and epinephrine may attenuate long term, but glucagon is always going to be elevated when you are low carb or limiting your carbohydrates, and glucagon is clearly a stress hormone in humans.
And then we have to understand that what is this crap research with words on a paper, which mean absolutely nothing, and then we have testimonies, which is where proof lies. And you see that all carnivore humans, as in naturally, they just eat carbs as a baby and in the autumn. So, do they have elevated stress levels during the whole year? I mean, maybe for running away from predators or from the hunting they might do. I mean, from the cold they might get by living wildly. But why would it stress your body? The only amount of actual gluconeogenesis, which is basically your body having to produce its own sugar because you're not consuming it, as in you're not the tribe leader, so you're not getting the liver, maybe you just get some muscle meat, which is what I eat daily. So now your body has to make the sugar, but you have to understand that sugar, glucose or whatever you want to call it, makes up what, 1% of your body? You will even feel it in your throat. I feel it once in a while during the day, like 3 times a day, something like that, that I do realize it. You will feel a sweetness happen in your mouth when you're doing whatever. I'm not talking while eating. And thus, your body is converting whatever it can into sugar, and it has probably some stress doing so, but it takes work to make the conversion. It would be ideal for you to get that 1% through liver or some organ or whatever. If you ate all animals, you would still be in keto, but you would get some carbs. So being outside keto guarantees that you are consuming way too much carbohydrates. But to get there. But because you are in keto doesn't mean you are getting zero carbs, that you are avoiding them. A good example of that is Dr. Berg. Good? I don't know if it's good, but I mean, he eats a lot of carbs every single day on keto. So you can see from his meals, from this photo, from his meal plans, he eats a bunch of berries, a bunch of this, a bunch of that, but while still preserving ketogenesis, because ketosis, because he limits it to 20 or 50 grams per day of net carbs. So we have to understand, first of all, that words on a paper will never lead us anywhere. Only testimonies will. And then we have to sort of understand, is it because you are completely avoiding the carbs? Is it because you're on the keto? I mean, just because it's a package, you can just tell that the whole package isn't good. You have to discern.
There are multiple studies showing that adding carbohydrates to athletes or to humans that are not doing intense exercise improves all sorts of metrics, improves cortisol metrics, improves recovery.
When you eat a piece of sugar, you might feel content, and that contentment might very well reduce your cortisol. But if it is elevated on keto, you are doing something wrong. That's the thing. You get me? If you take a drug right now, you will feel pleasant. You will have good hormones. Why? Because it messes up with your hormones. You feel amazing after taking some coke. Of course, it improves your whatever. I mean, but if your baseline wasn't neutral to start, that is the problem that we should be asking ourselves. It's not that the drug is improving some whatever metric. It is meant, sugar, as in sweetness, either from honey or from fruit, is meant to be addictive. It's meant for you to feel pleasure from it, so that you eat as much as possible while you are a baby. So you pass that very fragile time of being a baby, a toddler, whatever. And in the winter, because it's too cold, if you aren't fat enough from what you ate in the autumn, you might not survive. But what is good for survival might not be good for thriving.
From exercise or improves thyroid hormones.
If your diet is crap, you might feel an improvement from whatever you might add, because you are starting from a not ideal, not neutral, not well level. So it's like saying, oh, if you do a vegan diet, you might feel better from what you currently are and you eat meat. Sure, if you eat a standard American diet which has meat, you might feel an actual improvement, at least for a little bit, for a couple of days or whatever, because you just cut out all of the highly processed foods, and I'm talking a whole foods plant-based diet. You just cut out all the Coca-Cola, all the chocolates, all this crap that you were eating, all these gummy bears and whatnot, these peanut butter cups, and now you're eating natural foods that are not adapted, that are not made for your species, but since they are natural, you might even feel better than you were, especially if you ferment those, which basically mimics an herbivore's gut. I mean, we have to understand the context of this, and all of this just sounds like nothing. I mean, if you close your eyes, you'll see a unicorn. What does this lead to?
A central thermostat that your body has that tells your body where the metabolic rate should be. And guess what? If you want to stay lean, if you want to be healthy and have energy and feel...
Don't get me started. Look at your beard and hair. It's white. You are not Gandalf's age. Do you know what I mean? By the age that you should have zero, as in absolutely no whatsoever grays or whites in your body or head hair. Absolutely zero.
Good and have libido, or if you want to lose weight, you...
What libido? Libido is a natural process when you are accompanied by a fertile female or male if you are a female. Of course, because you are consuming dairy, which you should have stopped consuming after you become like 2 or 3 years old, because you still consume it, you still feel aroused to suck on your mother's teeth. Because that's what nature created, that artificial libido inducing MCTs or whatever that are present in milk. So talk me about this. I mean, if you take off your shirt, I've seen you shirtless plenty of times. You look very good for your age. You look very athletic. I mean, it's not surprising since you do so much skating and surfing. But you are aging way too quickly for your age, and you have to know that. Just compare the photos from the moment you started animal-based to before. You age too rapidly, and of course it's happening so. You're consuming autumn foods throughout the whole year, and you're consuming baby foods as an adult on a daily. How can you expect that to have good outcomes? And how can you expect your words to prove what your face is contradicting?
You want your body's metabolism to work well. You want your thyroid to be moving your body's thermostat to the highest level possible at all times. So
what I like about Saladino is always as in energetic, happy, content, so at least it seems like it. And I believe it's from a rare standpoint from what we see online, from all these vegans and whatnot, I think it's genuine. But I mean, if you eat sugar all day, every day, which is what is in fruit and honey, and you consume all the time dairy with all these, how do you say? Sorry, I'm not, mother tongue is not English. Morphine. Milk as morphine. How the hell would you not, with morphine and with sugar, be content? But how can you expect, by consuming those two every single day, to have good results in terms of preservation of your overall aging, so to speak?
Consider some of these downsides of ketogenic diets. Here's a paper, a short-term ketogenic diet impairs...
Means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. Oh, this paper, these words on a paper. Oh, there's a book, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Lord of the Rings. There's another called The Bible. Just because they are written doesn't mean that happened in real life. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. We have no word of proving it happened, nor that it didn't happen. And the only way to prove or disprove whatever is in this paper is from seeing testimonies, real cases in real life. You have people like, for example, Dr. The names. Antonio Chaffee. He is doing carnivore for a while now, and it looks like he is thriving. And if he isn't, it's because he isn't doing it properly. Of course. I mean, how can you reach the conclusion that to actually feel your baseline, you have to consume the whole year foods that are naturally only available in the autumn and when you're a baby? So like, yeah, you need to start eating some carbs. They are essential for you to feel at a good baseline. If they were essential, our ancestors or even current human beings who are living in the wild would feel like crap 3 seasons out of the year. How can you even believe this type of
bone health
words?
Markers of bone remodeling were impaired after short-term low-carb, high-fat diet.
Boner impaired.
Changes in the thyroid hormonal status in patients receiving ketogenic diet due to intractable epilepsy. Here's another study showing that The thyroid hormones are negatively affected by ketogenic diets. This is done in children.
Who cares? Who knows what a thyroid is even? I mean, what I mean is so many words about this and that. We know what a mouth is, what a nose is, we know what meat is, we know what eating or cooking or not cooking is. All this just enters the realm of things that we don't fully understand, because who has seen a thyroid except in a photo, or except if you are a surgeon? Nobody. You're talking about things that are so far off most people that they become, I mean, of course, if you slaughter your own animals, you've seen it, but that you can manipulate people's perception, because you are talking things that they don't understand, so they can be indoctrinated by your whatever fake theory.
This is done in patients receiving a ketogenic diet due to epilepsy. The conclusions: the ketogenic diet caused thyroid malfunction and L-thyroxine may be required.
Let me simplify this whole video instead of watching 4.5 more minutes. So, if you feel amazing, good, and you can forgive, of course I'm talking very loudly because I'm very passionate about this, and I'm kind of pissed off that this is the conclusion that this guy reaches. I mean, I like Saladino, I love his work, and to see it disappoints me. That's why I probably am pissed off, because it disappoints me that he only reached this. He has reached so high and then he stopped there, and I'm like, what the hell, man? I mean, if you were a Dumbo who was eating McDonald's on a daily, I would forgive you very well. It wouldn't disappoint me if you believed all this crap. But as the guy you are, a 33 life path, so intelligent, so influential, so you have realized and shared with the world that we are not supposed to eat this or that. All that stems from actual natural perspective. And to see you reach this conclusion, yeah, it passionately makes me pissed off, sure. But yeah, what I mean is, I'm actually feeling good, hormonally well. You can see that even though I just jumped on a gun, so to speak, I'm content, I'm well, as in I'm not like pissed off, my heart pounding, and now when I switch off this video, I will still think about him and I will still be pissed off. It's not the case. So what I mean is, when you are well, it doesn't matter if childs are screaming music or whatever, singing or jumping, blah 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 blah. You have patience for everybody. You are forgiving. You are just well. You feel like going for a walk. You feel like just chilling, just like putting your elbow. Is this the name of it? Elbow? I don't know. Your shoulder against a pillar, and just enjoying the sun, just doing nothing. You are just content, whatever might be that you're doing. You're just content. You don't need to travel. You don't need to do nothing. You don't need to be with anybody. You're just content. For being revolved, as in a context independently of what it is actually. But to reach that state, you have to get some sunlight in your back. You have to, besides of course getting rid of the deodorants and the sprays and the perfumes and all these hormone disruptors, and of course all the things that we already know. But the most impactful is the diet. If you're always consuming things that are activating your immune response, you cannot possibly feel well, because what you feel is a mirror of what your body feels, how your biome is feeling. So whenever you eat an orange, if you are totally tolerant to it, you might have a totally welcome reception. But if you are intolerant to an orange, to a tangerine, to some grapes, to some apple, whatever, like it is my case and the case of many people, whenever you eat it, you might feel some pleasure from the moment, from the sugar and whatnot, but then kicks in the immune response, and then you feel uneasy. And if somebody just talks to you, you even get scared. It's like you are so on a alert manner that everything kind of scares you. The kids start making noises and you are just, leave me alone, I need to read, I need to rest, I need to get out of here. So diet, as in what we put in our mouth, but also all of the rest that we consume through our armpits, the sprays, the air we breathe, the sun that we get, all of the things we consume play a role in defining how we feel. If you don't feel optimally on whatever diet you have, and when I say optimally is actually you feel well, everything is good for you, you just feel okay, everything is just peace and love, you know what I mean, realistically, and you feel intelligent, you have energy to go for walks, it reveals that you are eating what you should be eating, you are eating ideally. But if you actually instead just feel like just staying in the couch, you don't actually feel like moving much, you just want to kind of stay a couch potato. It's not that you are lazy, you feel lazy, and you are feeling lazy because your body is not well nourished, and possibly is acting against itself through immune responses. You have to understand this is a complex mechanism, but that can be fixed with very simple solutions. I mean, my daily solution is I wake up every single day, like half an hour or so before sunrise, because I love to watch it and sun gaze it during that time. And whenever I feel like eating, even sometimes before the actual sun rises, I just go to the fridge and I just munch on some ground beef. Every time I wake up, I put the ground beef that is in the freezer in the fridge, like 9 quarter pounders, which adds up to around a kilo per day. For the moment, right now, I'm healing and I move a lot, I walk a lot, including in the sun, in the cold. I mean, what I mean is that I instinctively, okay, I feel like eating very early in the morning. I just go and eat raw as it is. It's still kind of cold, of course, but I can munch it. That's why I leave 2 of them outside of the fridge and 7 others in the fridge. And I have also always stock in the freezer. This was enough for me to fix my histamine sensitivity, because just the fact that I was eating meat that was in the fridge for a couple of days, either my fridge or the how do you say, the meat shop, the butcher's fridge, or even the supermarket fridge, I would then feel very heavy on my legs, and I just wouldn't want to get up. I just wanted to stay all day watching videos or doing some meaningless or whatever stuff, consuming, just relaxing, as in a lazy way, not just like it's not like you feel like going up to nature and breathing and relaxing. You just like feel like distracting yourself because you are unwell. So all of this to say that what you consume will 100% change how you feel and how you react to life, how you react to who you are, to who others are, what they do, what they don't do. It will change your life once you find out what works for you. For me, and I believe this will work for so many people, making sure you go low histamine, as in eating from frozen or cooking from frozen, which you might feel like, but you cannot get complete nutrition by cooking. I mean, if you sear it, I mean, it might not be terrible. And make sure it's something like ground beef. Ideally, you would eat nose to tail, but you have to like the smell of what you're eating. And if you like the smell, you put it in your mouth. You like the taste, you swallow it. If you don't like the smell of liver, don't put it in your mouth. Trust, your senses. That's why they are there, to protect you, to guide you. I had the other day, like a month ago, some kidneys from a ruminant. I'm not sure if it was from a goat or a lamb. And I actually felt a ache in my knees, in my articulations. What was there toxins in the those? I have no clue. The butcher actually took off most of that purple part, but there was some purple still there. Was it the purple that I should have not eaten? I have no clue. The thing is, you might think, oh, let me eat organs, it's good for me, whatever. There's a video that Saladino says, oh, bury it down the hatchet. If you don't find it pleasant, why are you eating? It cannot be good for you. It's like exercise. If you feel like going for a walk and it's pleasurable, go do it. If you're doing some whatever movement and your face is this, I mean, stop doing it. Maybe for the first couple of minutes it's actually pleasurable, but after a while it cannot possibly be. It's like a sauna. If you are in a very cold climate and you go on the sauna, it's pleasurable for a couple of minutes, but afterwards it starts stressing your body, of course. So, yeah, you have to understand that it is a matter of just finding out how to make a keto version of carnivore work instead of convincing yourself that it doesn't work, but because it already works for a lot of people, including myself. I used to not be any comfortable in my own skin. So what I feel nowadays, it's a completely 180. There were doctors that were telling me that you need to take this pill till the end of your life if you want to be barely usable as a human. They were telling me that I have this and that and very big names. You have this and you have that and you need to and then I went to all these courses on personal development and whatnot. And what I found is that they help, but they never fixed my issue. And then I found out carnivore and animal-based, and I tried one and I tried the other. And I even tried the raw veganism, which was what actually created most of the problems. And I ate whole foods, plant-based diet, all of the categories. I ate a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. And yeah, it didn't work. I mean, if I fermented, maybe it would work a little bit better, but I felt like ending my life every single day. And when I found out carnivore, and I tried so many diets in my life, carnivore, there were moments where I felt great, but then there were moments I didn't, and I was not understanding why. So then I went to lion, as in, I mean, it's just beef, salt, and water. What can go wrong? I even added sometimes some butter because the cuts that the butcher was giving me were so lean. But then I was like, I feel way too aroused in terms of libido with the dairy. I want to cut out, so I cut out the dairy. Then I realized that I just didn't have the energy I wanted to have. I cut out the salt and I was like, I'm only going to consume salt if I crave it, not just for pleasurable taste. I cut out the salt and I never craved it once more. First couple of days I had an headache, like 2 days or 1 day after, then it went away. And now I just do literally ground beef straight from the freezer that I leave in the fridge throughout the days so that it can cool off, the opposite actually, so that you can warm up, in that case, warming up in the fridge. And I drink mineral water from a spring that I buy bottled in a PET bottle. This is literally, because I was just cutting, I was like, what can still go wrong? And I was at that stage eating just meat and water, fatty meat and water, and it wasn't working. So I added the little connective tissues and I felt better, but it wasn't still 100%. And once I did the ground beef from frozen, it completely fixes it all. It has the fat, is that it has the what they call the collagen, which is connective tissue, skin, I don't know. And it has the protein, it has everything that you need. It's practical, it's convenient, it's easy to chew, you don't have to cook it. I mean, it's amazing. And now I feel amazing, and it's consistent. Because before, the histamine sensitivity would always lead me not feeling so great. And although I know that naturally humans do eat fruit and honey in the autumn, we have to realize that naturally you would never get an intolerance, never ever possible, because you would always consume fruits, I mean only 3 months out of the year, but with zero spray on them, completely natural seed, completely natural food, in only the amounts that you find in trees. Even if you ate a lot of them, why would they hinder your gut for your body to create antibodies against? It wouldn't happen. It only happens nowadays because of the glyphosate, and maybe also because of the seeds being so artificial and GMO and not. What I mean is that now, by people being intolerant to honey, which I am, to a bunch of fruits that I am, to cow's milk, and some people also to lamb and goat's milk, you cannot be consuming these things thinking that it will just be 100% okay because they are natural foods. They are going to have good consequences if you consume them in the natural specific time that was supposed, as in milk while a baby, fruit and honey in the autumn, and only if you have zero antibodies to those specific. You have to do an IgG food tolerance test to know. That's why, to simplify, and I did pay the $200 to know the results of those. That's how I know which I'm not. If you just do ground freaking beef, like I'm doing 80-20 or 85-15 straight from the freezer, and I'm repeating myself because it is what finally made it work for me. To the fridge every single morning, not at the night, in the morning. 2 of those you leave in outside. If they are quarter pounders, around 2 is what I tendentially eat for breakfast. But if you eat 3 or 4 or 1 or none, you have to do what it feels like doing. Do you feel like eating? You eat. How much do you feel like eating? You feel like eating 1? Eat 1. Feel like eating 4? Eat 4. Don't be questioning, am I getting enough protein, enough fat, enough whatever? This is human talk. A cow is not thinking, did I eat more grass yesterday or today? Who cares? How much do you feel like eating today? Do you feel like eating more? Go eat more. Do you feel like eating straight out of waking up? Go eat straight out of waking up. Do you feel like eating straight before going to bed? Go eat straight before going to bed. I personally tendentially have some tendency. You might have tendentially another tendency. That's why I'm not recommending you do exactly as I'm doing. I'm saying you should trust your instinct as much as I'm trusting mine. Thank you, Paul, for your videos and for your content and your inspiration, and thank you for watching. Bye.